Yo, what's happening, people? My name is Rudra Kush and welcome to a new video. So I recently released a track called Fire Inside, and the track is available now on all streaming platforms if you want to hear the full thing. So today's plan, I will break down my track and we will deep dive into the production, and I will show you how I have created all the sounds and how I processed, what plugins I used, what samples I used, and how the track was mixed. So we will see all of that. Also, there are some cool tips and tricks in the track that I have used, so make sure you stick around. So without wasting any time, let's just jump into it. So first of all, if you haven't heard the track, I will play a little snippet of the track so that you can get an idea what we are working with.
In the depths of my mind, a battle unseen. Inner demons entwined, a relentless machine. But I won't be defeated. I'll rise from the dust. Harnessing the strength within. I'll conquer. I must.
So let's start with one of the most important elements in the track, which is kick and the bass. And this is the group for that. So KB stands for kick and bass. So let's see. So the kick sound is just a very deep and punchy sound, and this is how it sounds like. So I have drum bass here, just with the 5% of dry wet and with the 20% of drive, just making the kick a little bit more punchy. So next we have this EQ, which is rolling off the 30 Hertz and just a small boost in the 5K area to make the kick more present in the mix. Then we have this auto filter, which is automating in the different sections of the song. And then lastly, a utility just to control the gain of the sound. That's all. Okay, and this one was just a top kick. I'm actually not using it. So next we have this bass, and let me just first unfreeze this. And this is the pattern that I used. So these are just some 16th notes. So as you can see, I have actually played around with the velocity of the notes, and this is how it sounds like. So this was a patch from Diva, and I really like using these Production Music Live, sample packs. They are really good for melodic techno kind of stuff. And this is the preset that I have used. This is called Bass Carnage. And I have actually tweaked some of the settings, like this envelope, which is automating. And I have used this LFO device, which is on a pretty low rate and pretty low depth. And I've actually offset this one so that we are only like covering one specific area of the envelope. So one tip I can give you here is, if you have like a very static sound, let's say the bass, which is just 16 notes repeating over and over again. So it's a good idea that if you can automate some of its parameters to make the sound, more interesting and keeping it more alive throughout the song. So next we have this Valhalla delay plugin, and this is at just 16% of the mix, and I'm actually like scooping out the low end so that the low end doesn't interfere with the bass. And this is the preset that I have used: ghost, reverb, vocal separation. So this is just like sort of a reverb, but afterwards the sound is actually being side chained, so the reverb is also side chaining to the sound. So let me show you the before and after. So what I wanted to do with this plugin is just to create some space for the bass, and this just really fits well with the kick. Let me just show you how the kick and the bass sounds together. Just notice how the envelope is slightly changing throughout the song. Okay, so moving on, we have one more bass sound here. So this is more like a stab sound, and this is how it sounds like. So this is just a one shot, and this is from the Producer School sample pack. They also make very good sample packs for this style. So we have just an EQ rolling off the low end so that the sound doesn't clash with the bass, a side chain with shaper box, and lastly we have this OTT at 80%. So this one is really pulling out that texture from the bass. So if I just turn this one off, you'll see how dull the sound is. So this is actually bringing all those high end that we need in the bass tab. And then again, some reverb and some delay here. Okay, so let's move on to the rest of the drums. First, we have this hi-hat loop. So I have this vocoder here. So this is actually, just making the sound a little bit more metallic in the sense. So let me just show you before and after. And also, if you have noticed, I have actually automated this release here. And this is actually like opening the hi-hat sound a little bit more. Then we have this EQ, just scooping out some of the resonant frequencies and giving the sound overall some air. Next we have this sidechain. So I'm just like sidechaining it to the kick. So up next we have this clap sound. Just a regular clap with a low cut and a bunch of reverb on the top. Next I have one more hi-hat here. This is more like a shaker, and this is the pattern that I have used. Super simple. And we have just an EQ rolling off the low end and just cutting out some of the resonant frequencies. Okay, next we have these two percussion sounds, and these are just some ear candy stuff throughout the song, making the drum loop a little bit more interesting. And this is how it sounds like. So I'm just like sending it to the delay here. So we have this delay. These are the settings that I have used if you want to see. Nothing crazy. So next we have this open hi-hat with just a little bit of reverb. And this is the reverb that I have used. Valhalla Room. And this is the preset that I have used, Studio Alpha. And I'm actually layering this open hi-hat with one more sound. So this is the body of the sound. And this is the top end, the more airy stuff. So together, they sounds like this. Okay. All right. So next we have this snares. Again, with a bunch of reverb. So this is the sample that I have used. This is from, again, Production Music Live. These guys make really good sample packs and I just like love their sounds. In most of my tracks, you will find I have used these Production Music Live sample packs. They are really good for these kind of style. So again, just a snare with a bunch of reverb on it. And a compressor just to, making it like a little bit more punchy. We have this low cut. So next we have this side chain on the snare. Just making the space for the kick. So again, I am actually layering the snare. So this one is almost dry. And this is the sample that I have used. Similar to 808 kind of snare. So we have a compressor here, some EQ, which is rolling off the low end of the sound, and then followed by a sidechain compressor. So next I have this one more open hi-hat sound. And I'm sending it to the same reverb. So this one is actually more open sounding and with a longer release. And lastly, we have these build-up snares. This one, I'm actually sending it to a big reverb to create that build-up effect. So I have an auto pan here, which is helping the sound to move a little bit from left to right, and then just an auto filter, which I'm using here in the build section and as well as the last section of the drop. And just a utility here, so to automate the gain, so that the sound is actually starting from very low volume and building it up towards the drop. So let me just show you how all the drums and the bass of the track sounds like. So I'm just gonna play you the most intense section of the song where all the elements are playing. Okay, so let's move on to some of the melodic stuff from the track. So to start off, we have these pads here, which are actually playing through the entire song, but I'm just like starting off the pads with just two notes, and then we are actually introducing all the harmonies here. So these sound are actually creating the whole atmosphere of the sound, and this is giving the track the overall mood of the song. So this is just one note, which is the root note of the song, which is G, and I'm actually like playing it throughout the song. So these kind of drone sounds, they actually help to keep the listener in a specific mood, and this just glues everything together. So again, this is from Diva, and this is the name of the pad that I have used. So for the first 16 bars, I'm actually automating this EQ, slowly bringing those high frequencies in. Next we have this pad sound. So again, this is from Diva and Production Music Live. This is the name of the preset, and this is just a pad sound, and I'm actually like automating the frequency here with this LFO device. Again, this is a pretty low settings. I don't want something too extreme, just giving the sound a sense of movement in the song. So we have this really low sine wave which is automating this frequency here, and just a auto filter which is helping the sound to slowly bring it in. Some side chain and just controlling the volume of the sound. That's all. And this is how both of the pads sounds like. Okay, so moving on to some of the more melodic stuff. Here we have this ARP sound, which is again from Diva, and this is the preset which I have used, Pluck Basic, and this is from the Visions pack. You can find this pack on Bound to Divide website, and this pack is really good for making some melodic house kind of stuff. So this is the preset that I have used, and I have just like tweaked it a little bit, and this is how it sounds like. I'm actually automating the frequency as well as the attack of the sound. So this is the pattern that I have used. Nothing crazy, just some 16th notes. So same notes looping over and over again. This is the pattern that I created. And this same pattern is actually looping over and over again. So as you can see, I have actually like automated this sound throughout the song. This is actually helping the sound to keeping it more interesting. All right, so we have just a EQ, which is rolling off the low end here, and a delay, and some reverb, and then sidechain. So yeah, nothing crazy on it. So the goal of all these automations here is to actually transition from one section to another. Moving on, we have the main lead sound of the track, and let me just first unfreeze it. So this one was recorded off my Moog Mother 32, and this is just a square wave with some pulse width modulation, and I have actually recorded that into the Ableton. But this is the MIDI for the sound. Let me just play you the sound also. So this was the MIDI for the lead sound that I was feeding into my Moog Mother 32 and then again recording the audio from the synth into the Ableton. Let me just turn off all these effects here. So this is the raw lead sound. So what I did for the lead sound is actually I looped the same MIDI over and over again, and I was playing with the filter cutoff and the pulse width modulation. So I had actually like 2 minutes of the recording, but I wanted to choose just the best parts of the recording. So this is the part that I have choose. So first I have this EQ rolling of the low end and the very high end of the sound. Okay, so next we have this Serum FX, and I'm actually like automating this drive knob here with the help of this LFO device. So what I have done with this LFO device is I have automated this rate. As well as the depth. Okay, next we have one more distortion here. This is from output thermal, and this is the preset that I have used, and I'm also automating the drive weight of this plugin. Lastly, I have this EQ here, just really cranking those 6K, bringing out the life from the sound. So to finish off the sound, I have the reverb here. This is a 9-second long reverb that I have used on this lead sound. Again, some different parts from the recording. So to keep things a little bit more interesting, I have just made slight changes to the automation here. Okay, so that was the lead sound of the track. Now moving on, we have this flute kind of sound, and this is from Kashmir Pack. And this was actually a loop, and I used just a small part of it. Let me just first unfreeze the track and then show you the whole thing. Let me just turn off the delay for a second here. So that was the part that I used, and I just like sprinkled it over to my arrangement here. So here I actually opened the loop a little bit more, and then just for some ear candy stuff, I use this auto pan to create this effect here. So we are using the amount as well as the rate. Just keep making the things a little bit more interesting, And we have here a low cut, this auto pan, and I have this distortion plugin here which is thermal, and this is the name of the preset that I have used. So next I have this Valhalla delay with 50% of the mix on ping pong settings. Lastly, I have the same big reverb. This one actually I'm not using the sound. Alright, so next we have this stab sound. Let me just unfreeze it. So if you want to learn how to make this stab sound, actually I have a full dedicated YouTube video which you can see on my YouTube channel, and I will link that video somewhere here. So I am just automating this frequency here, just opening and closing it throughout the sections, different sections of the song. So first we have this saturator with these settings, so just like giving that sound a little bit more drive. So next we have this better maker EQ, and this is on actually pretty extreme settings here. So I really wanted to cut the sound through the mix. So I'm actually boosting around 6K with 10 decibels, almost 10 decibels. And let me show you the sound with and without the EQ. It makes a lot of difference, you'll see. And we have this stock delay here, and then just some reverb, and then a low cut, and just adjusting the volume in the mix. So next we have this chords here, and this I am introducing from the drop until to the build up of the song. So right off the bat you can see the chord progression is actually like building up, and it's increasing the tension to make the build up more effective. So this is the MIDI. Let me just play you the sound here. So I'm actually automating the frequency here, and this is the patch that I've used. This is just the default library of the Diva, and you can find the same patch in Dream Synth and this dramatics strings here. So we are starting with the filter closed here and slowly opening it up towards the main drop of the song. And I have this EQ here rolling off the low end and just boosting just a little bit of this 5K area. Next we have again this reverb. Okay, so lastly we have this gain automation. So we are again starting from a low volume and slowly building up the tension. So one more cool tip here. So if you want to build tension in the song, so the good thing is to use the notes, like the same notes over and over again, but keep on like building on it. So you see here, like I was starting with this chord, but then I like added few more notes here in the scale to increase the tension over time, you know. All right, so moving on, we have this high string sound, and this is like a very common thing that you will find in most of the tracks. So this just helps to create a little bit more tension in the song. So let me play you the chords with the song. Notice that high string sound, how that is filling up the background space and creating a little bit more tension in the music. Alright, so I'm also introducing the same high string sound in the second part of the drop. So that was all the melodic section of the song, and now we are moving to the vocal. And one common question that I get a lot is, where do I get the vocals from? So this is so these vocals were made from an AI website, and there are tons and tons of free ones out there, and there are so many tutorials that you can watch online how to make these vocals. Okay, let me first unfreeze this track. So let me turn off all these effects first. So this is the raw vocal that I got from that AI website.
In the depths of my mind, a battle unseen. Inner demons entwined, a relentless machine. I won't be defeated. I'll rise from the dust. Harnessing the strength within, I'll conquer. I must.
So in terms of effects, we have first this EQ rolling off, some low end and this resonant frequency here.
In the depths of my mind.
Making it more telephonic. And then I have this compressor here.
In the depths of my mind. A battle
heavily
unseen.
Compressing it.
Inner demons entwined, a relentless machine.
Okay, then I have EQ here, which I'm boosting the high end.
In the depths of my mind, a battle unseen. Inner demons entwined, a relentless machine.
Then we have this fresh air, and this is a really cool plugin that you can get for free.
In the depths of my mind, a battle unseen.
So if you want to give your tracks or your recordings, the sense of crispiness, so this plugin is very good.
In the depths of my mind, a battle unseen.
Then with these two plugins, we have a lot of high end again. So I'm actually de-essing the vocal.
In the depths of my mind, a battle unseen. Inner demons entwined, a relentless machine.
So these are all the S sounds. Then I'm using this shifter plugin to make it wide in the mix.
In the depths of my mind, a battle unseen. Inner demons entwined, a relentless machine.
So what I did was I just turned on this wide, and I'm using this spread feature to make it wide in the mix.
In the depths of my mind.
Then we have this echo plugin from Ableton, just a delay, 1/8 delay.
In the depths of my mind, a battle unseen. Inner demons entwined, a relentless machine.
With just a little bit of modulation. And the mix is at 40%. Then we have this reverb here with just 20% of the mix, and the decay is actually 10-second long.
In the depths of my mind, a battle unseen.
So this reverb and this delay plugin is actually making the vocal huge in the break.
In the depths of my mind, a battle unseen. Inner demons entwined, a relentless machine. But I won't be defeated. I'll rise from the dust.
So next we have this FX group, and these are all the downlifters, uplifter, crashes, and all of that stuff. So this stuff is actually, just there to transition from one section to another. And I'm actually sending some of these to the same reverb here, the big reverb here. And yeah, nothing really crazy on these ones. All right, so that was all of the sounds. And what I did next was I actually copied the same project and converted all of the MIDI files to the audio and cleaned the sounds a little bit more, and put some compression, maybe a little bit of saturation, just to beef up and glue the whole track together. In this next part, I'm gonna show you actually what's on my master chain. So first we have this UAD Fairchild compressor, and this one is I'm actually using it in parallel. So the dry bed mix is around 50%, and I'm aiming for 3 to 4 decibels of gain reduction. We have this Ozone 10, and I'm using this stabilizer at 40% mix, and I'm using this EDM algorithm. So as you can see here, this EQ is actually adding a little bit more high end to the song, and also a slight cut here in the low end. All right, so next we have this saturation here. So I'm using this saturation module from this plugin, and this is around 40% here. Just beefing up the track a little bit more. All right, so next we have this Better Maker EQ, and I'm actually like boosting around 12K to give the track a little bit more air. All right, so next we have this EQ, and I'm actually using it in a brick wall settings. So I'm actually cutting everything below 20 Hertz and above 16K. The main thing to do here is I'm using it in the linear phase mode so that we don't run into any phasing issues. So next I have one more compressor here, and this is a VCA compressor. So this compressor is actually taming all the peaks in the track, so later on I can boost the overall volume of the track. So with this compressor, I'm actually like aiming for just 1 or 2 decibels of gain reduction. All right, so lastly we have our final limiter here, which is actually boosting the volume of the song. All right, so that was everything from the project Fire Inside, and I'm gonna play you the whole track one more time. All right, so that was the track. And if you have any questions about the track, feel free to leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you. Once again, Fire Inside is available on all streaming platforms, so go ahead and stream it on your favorite platform. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Pew.